My name is Alex Hicks. I am with the Farm Business Resilience Program. This is a new program that is just starting. We are getting the ship out to the ocean, so it's a big project funded by the federal government. So some of you may or may not know me. So what we're doing is we are going out to market with a tender, and we wanted to hold this session so we could explain to you how things work in the government. Some of you may never have done a government tender. That's totally fine, and we want to help you today to understand the process of how this will work, and also how to become a supplier to the government, and also how to understand what we're delivering in this program. Cool, let me share my screen and I will show you my PowerPoint. Cool, all right, coaching with the Farm Business Resilience Program. On the bottom left corner is slido.com. It's a website, and that's where we're going to take questions through today, because what it allows you to do, and Emma, if you could just delete the comments, that'd be awesome, out of the chat. So if you want to have anonymity today and people don't know who else is quoting and going to apply for this tender, then ask questions through slido.com, and no one will be able to see who anybody's. No, you won't be able to see each other. Okay, let me kick on here. All right, this is me outside of work. I have free range pigs and a farm, so I hopefully have some dirt on my boots to understand the audience that we are delivering for within our program. All right, so Karen joins us as well. Whoa, let's go back one. No, we're here. If you can hide, I wonder if we can hide the questions from not sharing on this screen. That's okay. This will show you how the questions will come through. Bottom left hand, slido.com, put in the hashtag of the event code coaching. I will come back to the questions when we get through the information I have to give you, and then you can ask me for gaps. That's how you would ask it. We've put in a question. You can see it's anonymous. All right, we'll kick on. So this is the bigger vision of what we're delivering in this program. This is the full program, all right? We're talking today about one section of it. Oh, let me go back. Okay, we're going to coach 150 farm businesses. That's what we're talking about today. Alongside that, within this program, this is just me giving you some information so you understand what we're trying to achieve. We're going to run over 120 events in the next 12 months. We dream big, we do big things. So this is what we're trying to do. We will be getting over 3,000 farmers to attend over 120 workshops. The events will look like things like farm tours, business workshops, finance workshops, succession workshops, you name it, we will be running it in the next 12 months. We will be running events that have guest speakers to inspire other people about business management and behaviours, good behaviours in drought and managing drought actively. So alongside that, we would like to do a benchmarking program. This is a brand new thing, as far as I know, in New South Wales, a public benchmarking program. They're running something very similar in Victoria. We would like to do something like that here. Resources, part of our program, we will create templates and calculators, update existing templates and calculators. That would be things like ag facts or cost of production for different industries. So all of this is magically going to happen in the next 12 months, and I am here to lead the charge. So we also have Karen Bellingham joining us. Big wave from Karen. Karen is in Sydney. Karen is in lockdown. Welcome to Sydney Life. So Karen is running the procurement side. So my job is to get this program rolling. Karen's job is to manage suppliers every day of the week. This is her thing. She lives for tenders. So Karen is the one that will answer all your questions about the process.
Thank you, Alex.
Did you want to say anything, or I'll come back to you in a minute, Karen? Will I show them a couple of slides? So this is me trying to make sense of a very complex government system. If you've been to log in and see how this works already, you might have already experienced by New South Wales. You may not have been to any of this yet. This is trying to make it simple for you. You need to register as a supplier with buy.newsouthwales. It's a website, you'll find it, you will register yourself as a supplier. Once you've registered, then you'll go and find our tender. If you can't find it, you can write to Karen after today, or you can ask for a link and we'll send it to you. Then you need to read parts A, B, and C. There's 3 documents to read. Sorry, there's so much to read. The one that really matters will be part C, which is the part you'll complete, and you'll put your details and your quote that will come to the panel for assessment. Then you will do all of this by the 26th of July if you are keen to be part of the winning team. Okay, so that's the process in a very simplified way. You're going to go on a website, you've got to try and weave your way through to find all these bits and pieces. Essentially, Until you register, you can't see all this stuff. Okay. Then what happens once everyone's managed to get through the system and you've made your tender, we will create a shortlist. All right. Let's say we get 50 people that quote for this work, and we won't interview all 50. We will shortlist a group. We may interview 10 or 20 suppliers. Then we would conduct video interviews with those suppliers. To get a better feel for application. From that, there will be a list of pre-qualified suppliers. Okay, so they go into a group and we now have the opportunity to work with that group. Those people that are pre-qualified suppliers then get to do a legal contract with us to deliver the work. There could be slight variations on what we talk about today to what we deliver in the contract in a month's time. So that is a simplified version of what's about, what's a big process. Oh, my slide is way too big. Okay, let me shrink that out. Let's see if I can fix that right now. Screen sharing has stopped as the shared window is closed. Okay, cool. Let's throw to Karen while I adjust my PowerPoint size of that graphic. Karen, did you want to just talk through that, what procurement is, how it works?
Thanks very much, Alex. Yes, so the procurement has been released as an open tender. We've had to do that to comply with New South Wales government requirements based on the expected value of works for the first year's spend. So with open tender, as Alex already mentioned, suppliers have needed to be pre-qualified as a New South Wales supplier on the Buy New South Wales website, and they've had to be aligned to the correct UN spec code. So just a shout out about the UN spec code. While you were there, you could have looked at any others that might have been applicable to your business services, because being a pre-qualified buyer in New South Wales government really opens up a whole wider door of opportunity for you. So I know there may be some people who have dialed in who haven't completed reviewing the package yet or registration, but I really strongly suggest you do that. So the procurement has been released in accordance with the EPPD procurement requirement, and the department will follow all of its mandatory obligations from beginning to end. That's how we do this. The tender was released on the 30th of June. It closes on the 26th of July at 10 a.m. Please don't leave to lodge your submissions to the last 2 minutes. The gateway can get very, very busy on e-tenders, and I'd like to think you're uploading your submission by 9:45 in the morning. At 10 a.m, the gateway closes and no one can get into e-tenders and lodge anything after 10 a.m, okay? On the 6th of July, we issued the first addendum, which was a reminder to today's briefing session. Addendum 2 will be released within 48 hours after today's briefing session. It will contain a formal record of all the questions that have been submitted prior to this briefing session and questions that are going to be asked during this briefing session, with our comprehensive answers to respond. If there are similar questions, we will consolidate it so as not to repeat unnecessary information. We would have also hoped that you've had the chance to review the package in the most part in full before you've joined today. Now, as Alex said, with regard to the procurement, there's a set of documents in there. All suppliers are expected to know and agree to comply with the Supplier Code of Conduct. The panel deed, which is the document that the recommended suppliers will be used to appoint to the panel, is a standard template document, and that would be the first prerequisite. That's also attached for you to have a look at. It's a stock standard document for Department of Regional New South Wales. We generally do not change those documents at all, but any queries, let us know. As Alex said, the document suite that has been released touches on all the provisions that we need to ensure we convey to you. And the most important document, as Alex said, is Schedule C, that is the response form, the returnable schedule. So it's really important you put all the information in that you can to convey to us the breadth of your experience, capability and coaching history. We're going to have a cut-off to the questions on about the 19th or 20th of July. We have a cut-off to questions. So if you have questions that you want to ask us, please get in and review the whole document package now and get your questions in as soon as you can. After the cut-off date, we don't take any more questions. Okay. As Alex referred to the interviews, that's a separate process. Alex has had significant experience in this area, and along with other people, members of the tender evaluation team, the interviews will be undertaken. That's a key contributing factor as well. I just want to make it clear as well, it is stated in the package that even preferred suppliers who are invited to become pre-qualified and join the business coaching panel, there is no guarantee of any work by the department. So the fact that you become registered, the department is making no commitment to engage you to deliver any services. Okay, that would be assessed on a case-by-case basis as the panels in regions are ready to call for suppliers to deliver the program. And that is at the sole discretion of Department of Regional New South Wales. At the renewal of the panel, it's anticipated the panel is being established on a 12-month term, and it's expected that will be extended by up to 2 years. And again, if you're on a panel in year 1, there's no obligation under year 2 or year 3. But if it was me, I know I'd want to be on the panel, and I'd stay there as long as I possibly could. Okay, so that's the overview of procurement. Any procurement questions or questions to Alex, please send everything through to tenders@regional.nsw.gov.au. I'm monitoring that inbox every 30 minutes. So we're here to answer and respond to any questions you have to make your decision and your commitment to submit a response as easy as possible. Thank you very much. Back to you, Alex.
Cool. Thanks, Karen. So I'll share my screen again. Let's go back. Made that smaller. Share. Happy if you want to go on mute, Karen, if that's helpful at all. All right, let's go on the current slide. All right, sorry, that was a bit of a crazy size I had happening there. Cool. Just to be clear on what Karen's saying, so they called it a panel. It's a bit of a government term thingy. What it means is we're putting a list of suppliers together. They will be inside this magic panel thing. All right, let's pretend it's a box. Everybody gets put in the box. We have access to the box for 3 years to pull people out of the box, suppliers, and work with them. What Karen's saying is there's no promise just because you're inside the magic box of a guarantee of work, but we are looking to put a bunch of people inside this thing so we can quickly access them and run the program quickly. That's the goal. That's why we have currently in the Young Farmer Business Program, that future work, right? That's when here, this is absolutely on an assessment, and the most experienced, those are the ones that will be given the work. Cool. So this is what the coaching program looks like. What we're looking for is business coaches to coach farmers one by one. One coach with one farm business. The coaching is to happen fortnightly. That could be face-to-face, that could be Zoom, that could be Teams, it could be whatever format you decide. We need a meeting with them every fortnight to happen. Okay, below that one, I have unlimited phone and email support. That is what we are hoping for. That's what we are asking for. Now, I can tell you from the experience we've had, you won't get a phone call every day. Okay, they're not a demanding audience, but I'm saying if they're having a crisis with their parents on a Sunday, a succession planning meeting is happening, I would love them to be able to call you and get some help personally. So we just want you to be available. I'm just trying to widen it so that you don't come back and say to me, oh, they rang me on a Thursday, so I didn't answer because we only meet with them once every fortnight. We need you to be available. So alongside these coaching meetings one-on-one, we're going to have 4 face-to-face meetings. Then next to the face-to-face meetings, we're going to have 4 farm tours. So you may have a farm tour the day before and a full day face-to-face meeting. Now, underneath the yellow circle, 4 face-to-face meetings. These will be in groups of 6 businesses. The coach is facilitating that day. I don't have a format to give you. We might give you a format in time. At this point, we would let you run that day as you see fit for your 6 businesses. Same with the farm tour, up to you. It might be a half-day farm tour, it might be a full-day farm tour, it might be whatever your group decides is appropriate. So again, the 6 businesses are there on farm. Alongside this, some of the outputs, there may be a longer list when we sign a contract with you, but this is a general idea. It would be that they would have a business plan by the end of the 11 months. They would have a lender-ready budget by the end of 11 months. We might ask for a drought plan or a drought resilience tool. There could be other things we ask for to be completed. We only have 11 months left because that's the time we have available to us. This program ends in June 2022. That is the limitation. We do have potential for 2 more years of funding. We're waiting on contracts to be signed. So that's why Karen is talking about the potential of 3 years. At this point, we're looking at 11 months. Potentially, it could be repeated 2 more times. I can see some questions coming in, so that is great on Slido. I'll just go back. So just to be clear, if you are quoting for us, you need to be coaching 6 businesses. That is the minimum for this program. So you're coaching, the minimum you could do as a supplier is coach 6 businesses, have 4 meetings with them and have 4 farm tours with those 6 businesses as a group, and you are dealing with them all one-on-one over the 11 months. Tell me if that's not clear. So that's the concept. You could quote for multiple groups of 6 is what we're saying. There will be at a maximum 25 groups in New South Wales. That is as much as we can possibly take in 12 months to make this thing happen. So that means we have 150 businesses at our maximum. Let's hope we get 150 businesses apply and are willing to do this program. Maybe we'll get 300, maybe we'll get 140 businesses. I don't know how many we'll have. So the goal is to have businesses all over New South Wales participating. That would be diversity of locations, industries, ages, experience. We want diversity of everything in those groups. We are not looking to have 6 of the same businesses together. These 6 groups, the 6 businesses in your group would be, in a perfect world, 1 of everything. If I could choose your group of 6, it would be a small scale farmer, a cropping person, a livestock person, an intensive person, somebody who's just bought their farm, someone who's trying to sell their farm in the next 12 months that you may help them transition out. That would be this, that's the sort of diversity we're looking for. Okay, we're just in New South Wales. This is a New South Wales government funded program. So the target market is farmers, farm managers, farm employees. That's the people participating in the coaching program. It's very clear cut. These are the guidelines that we have been given by the federal government. Okay, the process for the farmer, this is for the participant, is they will apply for this coaching program. They'll be interviewed by DPI. Someone's asked a question about who will be interviewing them. I'm not sure who will be interviewing them today. I can't tell you that answer. It's whether there would be a coach on that panel, I'm not sure. There's going to be many coaches working for us, so I can't guarantee that any coach would be on that panel. So at this point, assume they're interviewed by DPI. 150 businesses are selected in a perfect world if this goes according to plan. Each of those businesses pay $1,500 to participate. Clearly, you won't be giving us this service for $1,500, so we will be footing the bill. We are looking for the farmer, the participant, to have some skin in the game. They need to be committed to this process. So that's why we're charging. Okay, what have we got next? This is a bit of an FYI. There is reference to this in the documents. We will be benchmarking, potentially some of these businesses will be in our benchmarking program. The role of the coach, that would be you, is to help collect the data. Coaches to help the farmers submit the data to the DPI team. Again, this is all months away. It doesn't exist today. It's going to be created in the next 6 months. So at some point we would have a set of data we need to collect. We will come to the coaches. It may not be every business. It might only be one of your 6 businesses is being benchmarked. And we would ask you to help them prepare their financial statement for submission, or maybe we're just chasing 12 different financial numbers and you'll help them get those 12 numbers to send to us. It's just an FYI that we would ask you to help them. Okay, someone has asked a question about who is putting them into the groups of 6. Do you have any votes? Do you get to choose your 6? No, you don't. The farmers, farm managers and employees are put into these groups of 6 by us. We will allocate them. This is at a scale we haven't seen, so we have to just take care of business by the New South Wales DPI. There is potentially at this scale, there won't be the degree of input by the coach. You'll be given the businesses. Criteria for assessment. Someone had asked about the criteria for assessment. We have it, it's inside the package. You can read it in those documents. In terms of how things are assessed, that's for the panel to decide. There's a criteria that they're running to behind the scenes for assessment. So it's not something we talk about. But you'll know what the criteria is because it's public. It's in the package. Okay. Let me go to some questions, and if I can get tech support to write back to them as we go. How many businesses are you coaching? We'll write back answers here and you can see them. We are coaching 150 businesses maximum. is our answer to that question. I don't think I can actually write the answers back. So what we'll do is we'll delete the questions as we answer them. Okay, will we be teaching original courses of our own? We can highlight the answer that I think I'm on as well. If I click on that, yeah, I can do this myself. All right, how many businesses are you coaching? 150. Will you be teaching original courses of our own, template New South Wales DPI ones, or a blend of the two? Great question. So when you coach each fortnight, at this point, for this 12 months, this 11 months, you can coach as you see fit. You're being hired as the expert. We're not giving you a format at the moment. We will give you some templates across the 11 months to complete. Here is a one-page business plan. Can you please make sure all of your farmers have completed it, for example. The format of those full-day workshops, the format of the farm tours, the format of the fortnightly coaching call, that is absolutely your decision. We will be measuring. So that will be the way we will, it may be different in the future as we have more knowledge of different models. At this point, we're happy to test all the different types of models that will come from different suppliers. Do you already have a provider assisting you with the public benchmarking? We plan to have a benchmarking team within our group, within the Farm Business Resilience Program. So my answer would be no, we don't have a provider. We will have staff doing that. Which UN spec code do we need, please? If we could type that in the chat, Karen, could you give us those magic words about the training and education, and we'll get tech support to type it in the chat. On mute at the moment, Karen, but if you can hit the magic red button, that'd be great. And we'll just type it in. Oh, still on mute.
I got it. Sorry, could you ask the question again, Alex?
The UN spec code, if you could read that out to us, we'll type it into the Zoom chat.
Yes, I will.
So when you're applying for the tender, there's different categories that you can look for as a supplier, and this is the category that our tender is listed within, if you're trying to find us.
Sorry, just give me a
No,
minute.
you're right. While Karen's grabbing that, I'll answer this question. What dates will the video interviews take place? I wish I knew that answer as well. I'm not sure. We have to get, depends if we get 150 tenders or 50. So we just need time to assess them all. We will have to give you that when we know the date. Sorry, I can't answer it today. Will panel members be selected for delivering certain courses and locations? Interesting question. So this is a coaching program. To be clear, in terms of courses, and I'm confused by the courses reference. Will panel members be selected for delivering certain courses and locations, or will we be required to bid for each one? Maybe I can answer the question in terms of geography. You will not know the region you're covering. So if we have the diversity I've talked about, it means that when you are allocated your 6 businesses, again, in my perfect world, I would say you have a sheep grazier from Wagga in your group, you have an egg farmer from Kempsey, you have a small scale farmer from Kyogle, and they would all be in your group of 6. Okay, those 6 farmers all have to travel to come to those meetings. So when you have your 4 meetings, they will be at one of those farms and one of those farm towns located near those farms. You won't get to choose because the diversity should already be there. That is our goal, to have that diversity. So the region won't be relevant to where you live. Within your tender, you need to be prepared to drive anywhere in New South Wales. Okay, hope that answers it. If it doesn't, please ask me another question. These questions, if you're looking to ask them now, are in slido.com. Just go on your phone to slido.com and pop in the hashtag coaching in the event code. And if we have any, let me just check if there's any coming through the chat as well. But I think we're fine. If any come in the chat, let's put them across into Slido. Okay, Karen, did you have the UN spec code?
Yes, I do. It's 86, and the number then has 6 zeros at the end of it. So it's an 8-digit number, 86000000.
Yep.
Thank you.
And it's called, is it called education?
Yes, education and training.
Okay, could you pop that in the chat as it comes through on the big screen? What type of data are you benchmarking? What's the 12 numbers you're referring to? Great question. I don't know yet. We haven't developed the benchmarking program. So it's an example to say, if that was the parameters, then we would ask you to collect them. It will be reasonable If it's things that the coaches can't measure, we won't be asking you to measure it. It'll be things within their finances that you're already looking at. Okay, have the criteria. So that's the UN spec code. Would you be able to pop that in the public chat? Emma, that number, I think I just sent it to you, who's on our tech support. Okay, cool. I'm going to close off that question. You'll see it in the Q&A in a moment. Have the criteria for group farming businesses, geography, size, been decided? Can you give us some indication? Yes, I would love to give you some indication. We have said everybody is welcome. Viable businesses is the magic word. That's up to us to assess. So we would like them to be small scale, large scale, livestock, cropping, intensive, non-intensive, you name it. They could be on an acre, they could be on 1 million acres. I'm not concerned about size, and diversity is a good thing. So if they have an acre of garlic at Byron Bay, they may well be your coaching client. Okay, I think I can take that one off. Can the group meeting include other coaching clients, or does it have to be exclusive of those clients? I run planning and development days for other clients. Oh, right, sure. Can you take our coaching group, put them with yours? No. No, this is about a sole day. So from the businesses, we have a maximum of 2 attendees from their business. So what this means is in your room, you potentially have 12 people. We'll have a local organiser that's helping you on the ground. You have 12 farmers, you have the coach in the room, and the goal is to create this incredible safe space for the 12 businesses, and also this network that they will go forward. So my answer would be no, we don't need other clients getting confused in the system. This is about those 12, which we've seen in the past with the Young Farmer Business Program that I've been involved with, that those 12 people become very close friends and they become a network for each other. In the longer term, I would love to see those 12 people continue without the coaching support and become a little group of their own, and then we begin another group. Okay. Hope that answers the question. My mouse is being a bit funny over here. Can the group meeting? Okay, let's try and mark that off. Do we find, okay, great. Someone's made it disappear. No, could you make that disappear for me? That would be great, Emma. The group meeting, including other clients. Cool, disappeared. She's magic. Thank you. How important is previous agribusiness experience when selecting coaches? It's a factor. It's not everything, would be my answer. So we're looking for, I guess you can go back to the criteria would be my short answer. It's one of the factors. You'll see with the criteria, there is other factors too. Okay, we'll tick that one off. Do you have a preference on the size of the provider, i.e. large consulting firm versus small? No, I don't have any preference on the size of the provider. I have a preference on the outcome for the farmer. That's all I'm concerned about, is how good will your service be for the audience? That is my goal. We are here to change lives and have an incredible impact on 150 businesses. If you can help us do that, that's what we're looking for. Can 2 coaches be involved to help the farm owners, i.e. one to focus on education and the other to focus on coaching? Sure thing. If you're going to bring us a team, that's a great idea. It has to be economic on our end. So it's up to you how many people are working within your business. I would love them to have a sole point of contact, that they have this coach that they can call on. So that would be, if it becomes too confused, I wouldn't be a fan, but you might have a primary coach and you might have a support person, sure. We did talk about mentoring in the tender documents as well, because we would love to see the number of coaches increase, in the hope that we have these amazing 150 businesses that people are more aware of coaching, and in the future we have more of a demand for coaching. Okay. Can the group meeting include other coaching clients, or does it have to be? We've answered that one. Do we find the farmers, or do you find them? Would love you to help me find the farmers. You can definitely promote our program. We will be allocating them to you. So we are finding the farmers between now and the end of July. If a business leaves during the 11 months, does that affect the fee? Great question. I hope nobody leaves during the 11 months. That would be my short answer. Does that affect the fee? No, because we've already committed your time to coach the others. Whether I would try and find a replacement, that would be a problem on our end, not your end. Great question. No, you've committed the time. We will pay you for it. Can the group of 6 farm businesses cover more than one region? Can the group of 6 businesses cover Murray and Riverina, or must they be confined? The goal is they are across many regions in New South Wales. They are not confined. Okay. Do you have a preference for ICF accredited coaches? No, we have no preference for accreditation of coaches. This is about getting people that meet the criteria, do a great job for us. With the group meetings, do we need to budget for the venue costs? This is a very good question. You'll see in the documents that it does say you have to pay for catering and venue, which if you've worked in regional New South Wales, you will know these are not very high costs compared to metropolitan. Yes, at this stage you will, potentially in the contract, we will adjust that if it's not required. So that's why the final contract may be different, but at this point, we're trying to compare apples for apples. So yes, budget for the venue costs. Yeah, they're not big numbers in a regional town. Okay, and again, you're only catering for 12 people. Will New South Wales farm-based coaches be preferred? No, I don't think it matters where the coaches are coming from. It doesn't matter if they're interstate. What matters to me is you've got to be able to deliver, remembering you are competing with New South Wales coaches, that you've got to deliver face-to-face in 4 locations. So if you're prepared to wear some of that cost and you're coming from interstate, that's totally fine. At the end of the day, we have, economics are definitely a part of the decision. Can I update the tender if already submitted? Great question. Let's throw to Karen on that one. I would have thought you could go in and adjust your documents.
So the way it works with tenders, as I mentioned earlier, you must submit your full proposal by 10 a.m. on the closing date, which is Monday, the 26th of July. The eTenders platform will shut promptly at 10 a.m. If you have uploaded and your submission has not gone fully through the gateway eTenders, it will allow you it to complete. But if you haven't made that connection, then you will not be able to submit. The eTenders portal is then shut for 1 hour. And then the procurement team, we have a tender opening panel. We will go in, open the proposals, review them all, save them, and then in due course, we will issue them to the tender evaluation team chairperson. Now you can update your proposal up until the tender closes. So if you submit a proposal the day before, you might be busy on the weekend and submit on the weekend. You might submit at 6 a.m. on the Monday morning before the tender shuts at 10. You can go in and update your proposal up until the time the tender formally closes, which is 10 a.m. If you submit multiple proposals, we will take the final submission. So we're not going to go through everything you've submitted and put it all together and say, well, this is different, so it's this document, and that's not it. Whatever is the final submission, we will take. Anything after that closes. There is a provision, however, that I will talk with Alex and the tender evaluation team, and that is through the course of the evaluation, and there's several stages to this evaluation, if the tender evaluation team require clarity or clarification on your proposal, it is up to them whether they contact you, and there's a number of ways that we might seek clarification. So as a post tender live period, we can seek a clarification from you in writing, or the clarification would also be via the interview. So if you get to the interview stage and there's additional information required, you might be asked to clarify it. But please put all the time and effort and brain power into finalising your submission and uploading it before 10 a.m. That's really the cut-off date. After that, it would be only if the department sought clarification. But you've got to give us the tools we need to assess your proposal and move it forward through the evaluation phase. I hope that's clear enough. Thank you, Alex.
Okay, great. I seem to have lost my questions. That was a good magic trick by me. Where is my... Let me go back to from current slide. Maybe that will bring it up. Okay, I'll keep going on questions while I figure out my Slido comes back to life. Okay, when Karen mentioned being a pre-qualified supplier, can you please clarify what pre-qualification means? I can. I'm sorry, it's so complex. I'm just a normal person like you. This is a very complex system and they use all sorts of complex words. So I think the box analogy is good for you to understand. All right, we are getting a bunch of suppliers that will apply for a tender. Then we are going to shortlist them. Then we will have a list of pre-qualified suppliers that are selected. What Karen's referring to, she's calling them a panel, and that's what you'll see on the tender documents, is we are putting together a panel. I'm sorry, it's not a very logical government word. What it means is there's a bunch of people in the box, okay? And the box, we have access as the government to the box. We can pull suppliers out of the box and work with them because they've been through this process. So I'm sorry, it's a little bit confusing. We are trying to get people to that point so we can access suppliers easily. That's what pre-qualification means. Can you ask me that question again if you still need clarification? That's what this tender is about. How are travel costs to be accounted for when locations are not known? Great question, hey? It's a tough one for you. Couldn't agree more. So this is what we've done in the Young Farmer Business Program. We have run coaching programs like this before. This is a challenge you have as a supplier. If I was you as a supplier, I would be thinking about the furthest corners of New South Wales, or where the majority of farmers may be, which would be in the centre of New South Wales maybe, and being prepared to drive to 4 of those locations. So you could budget on 4 very distant locations. And I would assume you are driving your car and you are spending a day there for coaching and a half day to a full, maybe put aside a full day for the farm tour, and you are travelling back afterwards. I'm sorry, we don't know the locations it needs to be where the farmers are that apply for it. That's my answer. Is fisheries included? No, they are not included in this program. Aquaculture is included, not fishing. So that is a bit sad. Is it possible to have mentee coaches trained alongside the farmers for years 2 and 3? Yes, it is possible to have mentee coaches trained in the future. We need funding for years 2 and 3 for that to happen. Yes, I would be pursuing the mentoring again in the future. So if we coach 2 groups of 6 farmers, can we combine them in the group coaching to help them develop a larger network? Probably not what we need to be doing. To me, that sounds like we're starting to have bigger meetings. No, my answer is no. We need them to be coached in a group of 6. This is about the safety and the closeness we can create by having 12 people in that room. Okay, how do you suggest a budget for travel without knowing where meetings will be located? I really can't guide you given we have a lot of people on this call. And if I give you, whatever information I give you today is given out to everybody in the world. All right, so that is how this procurement system works. If I give you 4 place names now, Karen's going to type them down and type them out for everybody to do their budgets on those 4 places. All I can tell you is they will be across New South Wales. It's a challenge. I would suggest not budgeting for first-class flights around New South Wales. It will not make you a very economic supplier. I have TMIP, new question, that I would prefer you use that will give a superior outcome to farmers. Is TMIP usable within this program? I'm really sorry. Oh, maybe you mean trademarked intellectual property. I'm going to guess that's what TMIP means. I prefer you use that will give a superior outcome. Trademarked intellectual property usable. Whatever I may have covered this earlier. It's up to you how you coach them. It's up to you how you do your full day meetings. It's up to you how you do your farm tours. That's totally your thing, not mine. Okay, what is the budget for this program? There is no budget for this program. We are looking for the most you can look to the criteria. There's no public budget. We are looking for you to give us your best price. And as I've said, anybody that's worked previously with us, there is no preference given. So give us your best price. This will be competitive. I can tell you. Do your best for the New South Wales government. Okay, does the coach need to cover accommodation and travel costs for all businesses attending? No. Good question. No, you're just covering the coach's expenses. It's just you. You're worrying about your costs. Okay. Lots of questions. This is working a treat, isn't it? Could you indicate, please, what budget you have per client or per group for the 11 months? No, I'm sorry, I can't. That's why we're going out to tender. This is how we look after taxpayer funds, is you give us your best price. Okay, Anonymous says yes. I think it means I've answered their question. Could you tuck away a few of those questions if you can, Emma? That'd be great. The ones I've got through. If the businesses are in 6, or maybe I can, my mouse seems to be playing ball now. Will the farmers be responsible? Yes, that's okay, I'm onto it. Is it possible to have mentee coaches trained alongside the farmers for years 2 and 3? wait till we get there. If the businesses are in 6 separate LLS regions and there are 4 meetings, will they need to visit the 2 farms where the meetings aren't held? No, they won't. No, you could offer that. That would be you volunteering. So you just will be going to these 4 meetings. These 4 meetings in these 4 locations. Clarify, 12 people in the room when each group has 6 farmers. Are you assuming 2 participants from each farming? Yes, exactly. Yep, I'm assuming 2 participants from each of the 6 farming businesses. Will you be choosing the cheapest tenders? Wow, $1 million question. Again, I would just say we are assessing against the criteria, is my short answer. Karen, I can't see any more questions coming in. We might, so ask any more questions in slido.com. Otherwise, we will assume I've told you everything you need to know. Can we only tender based upon our current resource capability, or can we scale up, engaging if there are awarded multiple groups? Could scale up, but you would need to quote on what you're going to do. So the quote you give us needs to be complete as the program and the people that would be delivering it. What does a great coach look like from your perspective? I'm just plugging in here. A great coach meets the criteria. There's my correct New South Wales government answer, and that's what we are doing. We have a criteria. It's very simple. We are marking to a sheet to that criteria. So I would look at everything we've asked for. Where there are more than 2 members in a business, can they also attend? Yes, it's a good question, and I've thought the same thing. You might decide to vary. You might ring me and say, look, it's a young couple and their dad is a key player. We want their dad to come to that meeting. We're all reasonable people. Sure, take dad along. If you think it's a positive for that group, great. It's probably us trying to avoid having 7 people being coached at once and the pressure that would put on you and a room with 50 people. We usually have 2. We've found that 2 works well. It may be more so when you're doing your coaching call that the parents are a key player, or maybe these people you're coaching are 50 years old and their parents are 70 or 80, and you think, I need your parents on a call so we can get through this challenge in their business. And you may coach in your fortnightly Zoom meeting. You may coach more than the 2 people if that's helpful. You might have their accountant on the call. It's totally up to you how those fortnightly meetings run. Will you provide the coaches from different businesses an opportunity to meet and share best practices during the engagement after the tender process is closed? Provide the coaches an opportunity to meet and share best practices. Wow, great idea. I think it's a terrific idea and we should do something at the end. Yep, I think we need to learn from this year, this 11 months, what is working well and what is not working well. And in the future, I may not be so, it may not be quite so open. We might decide a model that works really well and we may define this in year 2. What reporting responsibilities will the coach be responsible for? It's in the tender documents. I believe Karen might be able to find the paragraph there about reporting. I'm not sure. I think we've asked for 2 reports. We can give you a template as to what we have the capacity to, well, that will be useful for us. So it may not be the world's biggest report, because remembering we're looking at 150 businesses. Can you see that, Karen, at all?
Alex, it would take me a little while to find it. I suggest that I include it in the addendum that we're going to issue, outline those couple of reports, if that's okay.
Yeah, thank you. So that will, yes, we'll give you a reporting template. In the meantime, we've got an evaluation group that will be collecting data of the people you're coaching. Can the farmers come to Sydney for some of the group sessions? Not at the moment. Can the farmers come to Sydney for some of the group sessions? No, I think ideally you're going to these 4 locations of 4 farmers. You may have an extraordinary reason that you could ask us, could they all come to Sydney because there is a special event that you want to take them to? I would consider it on an ad hoc as needs basis. Ideally, they're meeting each other and seeing each other's farm businesses, and that's part of the success of the model, is they have seen it and now they're trying to support each other. Is there a dispute resolution process in place if there is an unhappy or difficult business. Yes, we are yet to experience this. We've had great success with coaching. Potentially this does happen given that we're scaling it to this size. Is there a dispute resolution process in place? They would come to us as a New South Wales DPI and we would manage that. If we need to create a process, we can create a process to manage them. Will there be a generic personality profile process available? I'm going to guess you mean an assessment process. We could look at it. I'm open to considering something where everybody does an assessment like HBDI. It will be quite expensive on our end, but it would be very interesting if every farmer was to complete HBDI. Happy for you to Google that. If some of our coaches become unavailable, can we provide a suitable replacement from our team? I would imagine yourself as the farmer. We have asked them to commit to 12 months. We've asked them to pay us $1,500 and we have given them their coach. So as a farmer, I think that would be very disappointing that their coach leaves them. One of the things we've asked is for the farmer to commit. So I think as the supplier, we need you to commit to them. Could we provide? If you had, again, extraordinary circumstances, that would be considered if they have a major life problem, but that is far from ideal, that we would have a coach that's no longer available. That would not be ideal. We need you to commit to them for 11 months. There's a great deal of trust they're going to put in you in this 11 months that you are going to help them. So what type of data are you benchmarking? What's the 12 numbers you are referring to? Sorry, I think I've answered that one. It's finally come back to the top of the list. I don't have the 12 numbers. The benchmarking program is yet to be developed. What is defined by regional New South Wales? Could a small aquaculture business in the Sydney Basin be included? Yes. Yes, I would love that small aquaculture business in the Sydney Basin to be included. The farm businesses can be anywhere in New South Wales. They don't have to be in regional. Yep, I would love people in Sydney on small scale farms to join us. That would be fantastic. Any more questions? I think that's all I had. With 10 minutes to go, I feel like I have talked a lot. I hope this was useful for you, that's for sure. Let me see if I have another slide here. No, that's it. Okay, we're at the end. Cool. That's all good. So what the next steps for you are, maybe I can stop sharing. That would be good. Great. Thank you for the feedback. If you have any more questions, you can email Karen. She has a special procurement email address that's on all those documents. She can answer your questions. Okay, cool. I think that's everything we have for today. We are hoping to help so many farmers, and I hope many of you can help us to deliver this great program. It's not been done before at this scale. So we're very excited and we are looking for great suppliers to help us. Thanks for your time today, and we look forward to seeing your tender on the other end. Thank you. Thanks, Karen.